Alright. Let's talk about it. Who, me? Me? Talking about UFC 274? Again? Would I? If you didn't see my first video on the subject, shame on you. We talked about the respectful warrior mindset of one Mr. Justin Gaethje. Here's a little catch up for you Johnny-come-latelys. How could you not love watching Justin fight? He's a wrestler that refuses to wrestle. A gladiator born in the wrong era. You can see so clearly that he fights for the pure fucking joy of it. If you're smart, you need to figure out where your strengths lie and then build a team of people around you, wherever it is you're looking to achieve something, make progress, build a team around you that kind of fill in your holes. Gaethje's family tells a story of a little 2-year-old Justin who was bitten by a dog. He chased that dog and bit it back.
Rebel soul child got a fist balled, I'm a respawn of ancestors and I'm blessed, They are not him, tell him fess up, I get check stub, hella carefree, nothing scares me, hella reckless. Yeah.
And it all went down last night, this last weekend to you, maybe, could have been years ago by now. Greetings from the future to you from, anyway, it's been a long night. For me, it just went down a minute ago. We had the last minute drama of Oliveira missing championship weight, with more than just his team saying that there was something wrong with the scale being used backstage, and Oliveira saying that he believed he went to bed the night before the weigh-in day already having cut as much as he needed to. But that missed weight led to him being stripped of his title and only able to compete for the #1 contender spot, whereas Justin was still fighting for the title. Then we saw Cowboy not be able to fight due to an undisclosed illness, not COVID related, and Lozon being the ultimate gentleman about it. We saw Francisco Trinaldo show that age ain't no thing by smashing through the incredibly tough, lion-hearted Danny Roberts, who was wobbled numerous times and did not quit. We saw a banger of a Chaos Brown fight go to a split decision, with Randy taking the win and his kind of renewed loose confidence in rounds 2 and 3 being the catalyst for that. We saw the previously impatient crowd. Oh God, were they on one? They all needed a nap. We saw them rally when Ferguson stepped out, and Tony rocked Chandler early on. He definitely brought it to that fight in that first round. Michael has like granite where most people have, you know, heads. All that work that Tony's been doing to beat up metal poles obviously paid dividends, as he managed to cut granite midway through the first round. And is it just me, or did that first round feel like a minute long? And then was it just me, or did that second round feel like a second long? Oh wait, it were. Phenomenal front kick up the middle by Chandler took Tony out with his face firmly smushed into that canvas, and he was out for a while. And Chandler, if you don't give him any other credit, and you should, but if you don't, you've got to say he knows how to work that mic, doesn't he? And it's actually generally been a huge weekend for fights. There were some dodgy judging decisions in France. Don't know what those judges were watching. That was for the Bellator card in Paris. We saw Rory McDonald start off his second PFL season real well with a first round submission, and Ray Cooper not do so well, missing weight and then losing by unanimous decision. And Kayla Harrison was in a dog shit fight, her words. But back to the UFC, and that main event did not disappoint. Both Gaethje and Oliveira were rocked from the off. A great fucking start. The pressure from both sides. I thought it was gonna tear a hole in the cosmos or something. Science. Early on, Justin was like, nah, not getting down on the ground with your mate. You get up. Let's bang it out. Mere moments later, Oliveira wraps him up like a fucking savage. Gets the choke. One and done. In case you couldn't tell, Justin is one of my favourite fighters of all time. But the night belongs to the new #1 contender. My heart goes out to Justin, but we got something else to talk about today. He has more than had his moment. I mean, on my YouTube channel, maybe not wider than that. I'll link that video for you on the end screen, but for now, I want to, and always really wanted to, talk about the incredible, she says tentatively after having just watched what she watched, mindset of Rose Namajunas, Whitman's other golden child. I remember watching Rose on The Ultimate Fighter and thinking, I wish I was as badass as Rose Namajunas. That wish never came true, but one consolation since is I've been told I'd look great with a bald head. What do you think? Vote now in the comments. That's cold. And two, I take comfort in the fact that no one else is as badass as Rose Namajunas. And, sometimes not even Rose Namajunas. So let's talk about the fight. We have to. There's not a lot to say, but we have to talk about it. It got off to a calculated, patient, might say slow start. And by start, I mean just the first 25 minutes of it. So in the first round, Rose was constantly moving around, I guess trying to make Carla impatient, make her shoot before there was really an opportunity to do so, make her pay. Nothing much of anything transpired in that first round. As Dean Thomas said, everyone in that building lost that first round, and us at home. And the second round too. When we essentially had ourselves a 3-round fight, I guess they both got a little busier. A little. Rose stuffed a couple of takedowns and landed an uppercut in the third round. In the fourth, they both had a moment. By the last minute of the last round, we were all like, can we just call this a no contest and make them go again, straight away? But they didn't do that. They just essentially just handed the belt to Carla. We're all still doing this face. And we may be for the rest of our lives. No one should feel good about that fight. I know I don't. And I don't care whether Carla deserved it. I mean, she didn't. It's just kind of how it works. But what's extra disappointing is that, one, we know what Rose is capable of. And it wasn't the Rose that we know that stepped in there. Rose was previously unbeaten in rematches. An MMA audience is, what's the collective noun for a group of dickheads? A marketing campaign for contraception? Don't let me digress. No matter how well you perform, they'll always find something to downplay your success. Hamzat never fought someone high level. Habib never fought a wrestler. If you control someone on the ground, you're boring. If you knock someone out, it's a fluke. But rematches are a great vehicle for silencing criticism. And Rose had silenced them every time previously. Both the Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Weili Zhang rematches were far more competitive than the first time around. And Rose really showed her heart by rallying and taking the fifth in both those fights. And heart is the common theme throughout her entire story. And we just didn't see it last night. Roxanne Modafferi is known as the Happy Warrior, but seeing as she's just retired, I don't know, maybe that moniker is up for grabs, and my vote, even considering whatever it was we just saw, would go to Rose Namajunas. And imagine what that ceremony would look like when they pass across this little like flower crown or something, and I don't know, it would just be pure joy. Behind her big smile and openness, Rose has suffered a lot of trauma. She's spoken out about her own mental health struggles, as well as growing up with a father who was unable to be a father due to his schizophrenia. Whitman even once said that he thought, due to her upbringing, she'd become addicted to being in chaotic situations. She thrived in them. If we push aside the puzzlement of what just happened, or didn't happen, whatever, Rose has given so much to this sport, and there's no denying that she has a mindset unlike any other. Part of it was caused by adversity that was forced upon her, but you still have to choose to walk through that in a way that leads to growth. Not everyone who faces horrors comes out the other side stronger, but a lot of it is in how she actively looks to improve her mentality every single day. She once said, "It's just me I'm fighting against." Your mind is just another muscle that you can train and get stronger. So let's take a look at how you can do that, shall we? And me. I'm not sitting up here on my pedestal, I'm literally sat on the floor. So cold. Unless you've been living under the rock, oi oi, you've probably at least seen a clip of Rose repeating to herself, "I am the best, I am the best." And this attachment to a mantra and all of the benefits that that has for Rose, and you, if you put in the work too, has been building for a long, long time. She didn't just decide to try it on for size as she was walking out. Rose doesn't listen to music when she runs. She uses that time to practice saying her mantras. It's only recently that she's been using the mantra, "I am grateful and I am blessed, and when I do my best, I am the best." She says she just keeps repeating it over and over, and it gives her energy. When negative voices tell her she's getting tired or it's too hard, the mantra helps her, writes her path. And in higher pressure situations, like when she is being hit with a barrage of trash talk, a la Joanna Jędrzejczyk, her mantra keeps her on track, keeps her calm, keeps her focused, and doesn't allow her to get caught up in all the bullshit. This is a technique called autosuggestion, which is the hypnotic or subconscious adoption of an idea that is created in order to change a behavior. It's like doing mental reps. The more you do it, the more it starts to cement itself in your internal belief system, and the more you will begin to act accordingly. You can either use this technique to reaffirm a conviction in yourself or program your unconscious mind to believe something that your conscious mind doesn't believe yet. And anyone can do it. If you want to stop getting in your own way and truly believe in yourself, try introducing a concrete mantra into your day. Repeat it as often as possible and find calm in any chaos. As well as "I am grateful and I am blessed," we've seen Rose use another mantra previously: confidence, conditioning, composure, content. I am champion. And I think it's these words that give us a real insight into her mindset. So let's take a look at these in a little bit more detail. Confidence and conditioning are intrinsically, that didn't work. Fucking hell. Intrinsically linked. So we're going to talk about those two together. A power couple, you might say. Rose isn't alone in taking her confidence from the knowledge that she is as prepared as possible for any fight. But she's not always got it right, and so that's a lesson that she ain't gonna forget again. When she had to postpone her fight with Andrade due to a loss in her family, Rose looked to seek out the positives from that situation. She said she was already ready for the fight, but having that extra time just let her get more ready. And she gained a more genuine confidence and winning mentality from that solid preparation. And now she knows what prepared really feels like and what it takes to get there, so she can implement that into every camp from now on.
Rebel soul child got a fist balled. I'm a respawn of ancestors and I'm blessed, They are not him, tell him fess up. I get check stub, hella carefree, nothing scares me, hella reckless. Yeah, I got next up, right? No, we not the same, cause see when I look in your iris, you likely to talk but not ready to ride. You do better keeping it quiet. My pen is ignited, my soul is enlightened. I like who I am, but I'm biased. Their palette is right, and my drip is a fountain. I'm not like these regular guys. All of that talk is misguided. She like the way I make the tape print, but the way I make the words play is grim. I'm the reaper reaching for the kill switch. The label cut the check like the bladesmith. Something sparking where his brain is. The beat is somewhere where they prayers in. Geronimo, the way I make the bass jump when no parachute is tasteless. They likely to run their mouth, but when they see you face to face, they quick with the shape shift. Up through the night, work the grave shift. Batted from the cradle to the grave. Big mad how they face tense. Look both ways for you catch fade. I'm a nice guy on the inside. Still, I'm not somebody to be played with. Keep it all the way 1,000. I don't remember how the ground feels. I left the city, I've been browsing. Treading water that they drown in. My head on a swivel, yeah. It's only really my surroundings. They keep it all the way 1,000. I don't remember how the ground feels. I left the city, I've been browsing. Treading water that they drown in. My head on a swivel, yeah. It's only really my surroundings. Can't stop, won't stop, till I tour the world when the glow trap. Better keep it dope like the stove top. Type of thing I hide in a tube sock. I done skip town on a new block, but I'm still around if you just not. Better hold it down when the groove drop. Where I kick down for the crowd, I balloon pop. Better come around for my moolah.
And if I was to describe the fighter side of Rose in one word, it would be composed. Perhaps to a fault this weekend. So it's no surprise to me that that is a core part of her mental preparation. And it likely stems from the first time she lost to Carla Esparza for the inaugural strawweight championship. Rose's fiance and key part of her team, Pat Barry, has attributed that first loss to them all getting caught up in Rose's hype. A mistake that they won't make again. She instead will remain composed. We see this composure all the time from Rose, but most notably when her opponents are laying on that trash talk a bit. When Joanna was talking about her family, her mental health, really personal stuff, Rose was reciting the Lord's Prayer. When you look at her during these moments, it just looks like she's literally just drowning out all the noise so she doesn't notice it at all. But that's not easy at all, even for someone with the mental strength of Namajunas. After the Joanna fight, she talked about it, saying that it took a lot of control and restraint for her to do that, but she knew that that was the best way to beat Joanna inside of the octagon. She called it a fight of mental warfare. She said that she knew that Joanna thrives on really riling up her opponents, getting inside their head and getting them to bite. But Rose wanted to shut down her mental game, and sure enough, the rest followed. Like I said, Rose has been building up the resilience to achieve this composure for her entire life. But now she's reached it, she doesn't just rest on her mindset laurels. She's always looking to keep building. Between the first and second Andrade fights, she purposefully took a step back from fighting or even thinking about fighting to make sure that her mental journey back to the octagon was paved properly. She travelled to Lithuania to connect with family and to Minnesota to track down an old coach and just let herself enjoy her life outside of fighting. And it turned out to be what Namajunas herself called a mindset shift. She went from playing a blame game for her loss, pointing fingers at everyone outside of herself, to acknowledging where she went wrong and starting to rebuild. Every loss is a learning, and if you can meditate on those learnings, take full responsibility and use that to improve, you will build this like mental fortress that can withstand anything and see the changes reflected in your performance, of course. In between rounds, we once heard Trevor Whitman tell Rose, go out there and have fun. Move your feet, keep throwing your combination, and have fun because you fight for a purpose. That's what champions do. What's that purpose? To be the best fighter in the world? No. Rose wants to become the world's greatest farmer. She wants to use her influence to promote sustainable farming and the martial arts lifestyle because she believes those two things in conjunction could save the planet and bring everyone together. She has a dream to start an urban farm in Denver and teach kids how to grow their own food. And in having this purpose and this lifestyle, Rose has found contentment, calm, and presence. She used to only know chaos. The lack of relationship with her father, loneliness as a child, sexual abuse. She never felt safe in her own life until she bought her own home and built a sanctuary. And she wants to help others find sanctuary too. She's spoken out, encouraging other victims of abuse to seek out help, saying you don't have to take it all on yourself. There is always someone you can talk to. She promotes kindness, love, civility, especially to yourself. And she's so open and genuine in every interaction. She talks about her fears like most other competing athletes wouldn't dare to. She admits it's not unusual for her to cry, not because she's not content, but because it helps her to access this balance. She says getting into a fist fight is a traumatic experience, and if you're not feeling it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Before her rematch with Joanna, she was so tense in the back room waiting to go out that she clenched her fist so hard that she was bleeding. There is a softness to Namajunas that the dumbasses in the world see as a weakness, but we all know there's nothing weak about Rose. She seems to be a contradiction, but she's not at all. Your fears don't make you weak. Crying is nothing to be ashamed of, and if you need help, ask for it. Every single day, Rose wakes up as a champion. Even today, because it's not just been happening since she won the belt. It's her mindset all the time, and I'm not just talking about champion of the UFC, but a champion for being a good person, for speaking out about mental health issues, for sustainable farming, for having fun in the octagon, for making the world a better place. Namajunas lives her life as a champion, and that's why it's usually easy for her to fight that way. So I'll leave you with this question. What the fuck are you a champion of? Aggressive. And how does that link to your purpose? Let me know in the comments if you want to, or keep it to yourself. It's a personal thing. Like, subscribe, and I'll link a couple of videos for you on MMA Mindset on the end screen, including that Justin Gaethje one. And I'm literally recording this the second that the light went out from Gaethje's eyes. Sorry, didn't mean to laugh. So Rose hasn't spoken yet at the post-fight media conference, but I'm sure we're about to have some light shone on what the fuck just went on. Hopefully we'll see Rose back soon, or we'll see Carla prove herself as a worthy champion, because to my mind right now that is a vacant belt. Sorry! See you next week!